Well, thanks first of all for meeting with me, and I look forward to talking to you about your role with the Chosen. And so to begin with, I was wondering if for our readers and listeners who know nothing about the Chosen, I was wondering if you could just give us kind of a 38,000 view look down on what the Chosen is and kind of how your role plays into the overall story of the Chosen.
It's the first multi-episode series on the life of Christ that's ever been made, which is crazy to me. And it takes us on a journey to see Christ through the eyes of all the people that surrounded him. And that's really never been done before either. And so, yeah, you learn about Christ, but you're also learning about this whole cast of characters, the disciples and all the others that are around Jesus. And you get to see their lives, in my opinion, for the first time in a human way, where other films and television shows, they just sort of make everybody sort of untouchable with big beards and they're, holier than thou. But what we're seeing is the disciples as human beings that have daily problems, that have arguments with their wives, that don't get along with this, that get in fistfights, that are just telling a true story of their journey to understanding Christ's message. So I think that's really what The Chosen is about. But it's about the life of Christ and his journey.
Awesome. So how does your role of Gaius play into the story of The Chosen?
I guard Matthew. Mm-hmm. Matthew collects taxes. He's a tax collector for the Roman Republic. I am started off as I'm now a primi, which is a Roman, basically centurion, but it's the higher ranking centurion. So my job was to guard Matthew and the tax booth as the citizens come up and pay their taxes in gold. And those taxes then go to building infrastructure, roads and clean water and health, and allowing you to expand your business, whatever that might be, to other villages and expand your life and ability to make income. So my job is to guard Matthew and make sure nobody storms the tax booth and steals all the gold. And so that's my relationship primarily has been with Matthew, my boss Quintus, and I would, in short, say that I serve and protect. I serve and protect for Rome and the Republic, and I make sure Matthew is safe, and I do my best to look after this young man as best I possibly can. So that's my kind of connection. And then Matthew, as you know, in season 1 and 2, decides to take off with this guy named Jesus, which makes no sense to me, because he's portrayed as having OCD or maybe on the autistic spectrum, very particular young man, and it doesn't make any sense that guy walks by and says, "Follow me," just drops his life, hands me the key to his unbelievable home. And it's just very strange that he would do that, because he locks the door checks it 5 times, and he's just going to abandon his life. So I'm kind of involved in that end of it.
Okay. So he has kind of OCD elements.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So going off that, your relationship with Matthew is almost by the end of the second season, you kind of look out. Yes, you're a guard for him in a sense, but you're also kind of you see that there's a little bit of a bond formed. Kind of you look after him more than just, hey, I'm protecting you. So kind of going into season 3, and I'm not quite sure exactly how much you can delve into your character's arc and how that relates to Matthew, and kind of what can we expect as fans and viewers of The Chosen to see with your character in season 3, and especially as pertains to your relationship with Matthew.
Great. First of all, I decided that Gaius was, if I work with you every day and I'm your boss and you're doing something, we're going to have a relationship. I'm not going to be some dictatorial jerk that pushes you around all day. It just doesn't work. That's not how life works. So I just decided what would I do if I were in that situation? So you're going to build a relationship. And as you get to know somebody, you start to care about that person. It's just only natural, regardless of what our titles are, our authority or position. And then we become more intimate because he wants to go talk to Quintus and say, hey, you made a mistake. And I'm like, no, you don't. This guy's going to kill you and me. So you don't want to do that. So
Right.
it's just a whole series of events. And eventually the guy helps me get a raise. I go from a centurion to a preemie. So you're building a relationship, and that I think is just true. So in life, and so as we go into season 3, I think certainly at the end of season 2, I'm wondering where he is and how he's doing, and why did he just leave my friendship and go to your friendship? I'm a little confused by all of that. So I think in season 3, that like, hey, what's going on here continues to play itself out. And beyond that, it's hard for me to, really say much of anything. But I think you get to see Gaius's journey with relation to Matthew in that way. Like, in other words, who is this Jesus guy and what's going on? What's the big deal? And I have to, at this point, be curious, because I have a relationship with Matthew and he left, and I'm concerned about his well-being. He could be out there, everybody's gunning for Jesus, or it certainly seems like, are you going to be okay? I want to make sure he's okay. So by extension, a series of things happens,
Right. So taking a couple steps back, how did you originally land the role of Gaius, and what were you doing prior to being cast as Gaius in The Chosen?
I've been earning a living as an actor for like 36 years, I guess. Just a character guy, psychopath one week, a father the next, a Roman centurion the next week. But I have been friends with and have been working with Dallas Jenkins, the creator, for over 20 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
So, yeah, we've been making films for over 20 years. He's producing them and directing, and I'm grateful. He's a very honorable man, one of the most honorable men I know, and he just always brought me back. And so, we've been making films a long time, and, no one really paid that much attention, but suddenly they are now, which is really cool. So yeah, Dallas just gave me a call and said, hey, I'm doing this. Are you interested? And I'm like, dude, anything for you, of course. And so I auditioned, because it's not only him making the decision. So I auditioned, and I was lucky enough to be cast, and we just started with what we had, and it just keeps growing. I would never have seen it coming at all, because I love the craft of acting. I just do my job and bring my sack lunch and go home and kiss the wife. I have no aspiration of being famous or anything. So I just like the craft of it. So it's really great what's happened. So that's kind of the journey. And I continue, to take that journey, which I'm honored and grateful to be a part of.
So looking at your character and what he's been through so far through the first 2 seasons, is there one thing, if you could change one thing about his story arc up to this point, what would that be and why?
Changing?
Or are you completely okay with the direction he has been going for the entire time?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Sorry, I want to think about this a second.
All right.
I think I am an actor. My job is to breathe life into black ink on a white piece of paper.
Okay.
That's my job. And whatever that job asks me to do, I'm going to do. I'm not a robot. I don't want to bring my ego into this. I'm a guest, quite frankly. Dallas and Tyler, these guys, they wrote this. It's their baby, ultimately, right? So I'm not going to say, hey, I think you should do this with my character. I just don't think it's my place. I think they want to tell a story, and I'm here to facilitate and support that. So I'm happy with what's going on. Season 3, a lot of things are shifting, which I was blown away by when I read the script. I had no idea this was coming when I started. And I kind of like it like that. I like just taking it one step at a time. So no complaints, man. I'm just honored and grateful.
Last question for you, and then I'll let you go. What do you hope viewers take away from season 3?
To keep your faith in spite of the challenges that come with it.
Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to watching season 3 when it comes out, and the first 2 I believe will be coming to theaters, and the rest.
Yeah. I think the tickets are on the chosen tickets.com, and yeah, it's going to have a theatrical release November 18th, which is crazy. The first 2 episodes, and then it's free on the streaming app on the 18th. I mean, later in December. On the 18th is when it premieres. But yeah, it's really cool. So cool.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
You have a great day.